So the second step of this design process is to create a mood board. And a mood board, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is an arrangement of images, materials, and text intended to evoke or project a particular style or concept. So quite simply, I like to define a mood board as a refined version of your inspiration board. Step one that we did in Pinterest, where we created your secret board and you added pins to it, is really to let your imagination flow and your creativity go a different way and be inspired by what you find on Pinterest and on the platform. And now we're going to go a step further with that, and in your inspiration board you should have around 20 images, and we want to take a look at those images that you've selected and pick between 5 and 10 of them that you think best represent your brand and use them to make your own collage or mood board in Canva. I find this step to be very exciting because once your mood board is done, you really start seeing the brand and getting a feel for what it's going to look like, even if you don't actually have a logo yet or the colors picked or your fonts picked. When you have your mood board, it really helps set the tone for the entire brand, or the mood as the name implies. So it's very, very exciting. So let's jump into canva.com and I'll show you how to do that. Canva.com is a free design software, very handy, that we're going to be using for the rest of this training. And just a quick note here, on Pinterest, all the images that you pin to your board, obviously you're allowed to pin them for as long as you stay on the platform. But if you're going to be sharing your mood board publicly and use images in this mood board that you found on Pinterest, it's important that you make sure that you have the right to use and share those images. Let's jump into Canva and design your mood board together. Let's jump into canva.com and I'll show you how to design your mood board. So if you follow the link in your workbook, you should get to this page to create an account with Canva. So Canva is a free design software that's really easy to use, very friendly in its interface. So if you've never used any graphic design tool before, you're probably going to fall in love with it because it's really intuitive and you don't need any specific skills to get started with it. So if you already have an account, of course, go ahead and sign into this account. But if you don't, you want to click on registering here, and then you can create your account either using your Google account if you have one, your Facebook account, or directly your email address, and all you need to fill is a couple of fields and it will create an account for you. Now when you create your account, and I already have an account myself, so I can't do this exact step for you, but I'm sure you can see what you have to do. And once you create your account, Canva is going to offer you a 30-day free trial of their Canva Pro feature. So Canva, 80% of the tools in there are free to use, which is fantastic, but they do have a paid plan, and when you initially sign up, they will recommend that you start a free trial. Now, I'm going to recommend that you do accept this free trial. I will let you decide, of course, if you want to keep it after the 30 days or not. So if you don't plan on keeping it, make sure to mark your calendar with that date, 30 days from now, to make sure that you cancel it before you're being billed for it. But the reason I want you to have it for this training is mainly because we will be able to use what's called custom fonts and typography and upload your custom fonts into the software, which is going to be important when we get to the typography step of this training, as well as when we put together your brand style guide. So this is a test account that I have. Because I haven't created it just today, I'm not getting the pop-up here saying upgrade to Canva Pro, but there is a little button here in the bottom left corner. So that might be your case as well. If you can't see how to upgrade to the Pro plan, you might have this little button in the corner here. Just click on it and it will say get Canva Pro for free for 30 days. So I'm going to upgrade now. It will ask you for your payment information, but they won't charge you for 30 days. And as you can see here, they will give you the first payment date. So that's what I'm saying you should put in your calendar to make sure to cancel it before that in case you do not want to pay. I think that if you fall in love with the tool, it's probably a very helpful tool to have, and it's a very low fee as well, monthly, but that's obviously up to you and what you can and can't afford and what you need and don't need. But for this course, I do recommend you get the Pro plan. Once you've done that, what we want to do is go to create a design, and we're going to click on Moodboard Photo Collage. So if you can't see it straight away here, just go and type mood in the search bar here, and it will show up for you. And then from here, you'll see on the left some layouts that they recommend. Now, it's tempting to click on those because they're already all pre-made, but I don't think this is actually the best option, because when you click on it, all these photos also appear on your design, and we want to have your own pictures that you've selected in Pinterest, that you found online for your mood board. So not necessarily helpful to have pictures already filling your screen as you work. So instead, what I'm going to recommend is that you go to Elements here, and then we want to go in Grids here, see all. And then depending on how many pictures you've picked, so from your 20 pictures that you had in step 1, how many did you reduce it to now? Do you have 5? Do you have 7? Do you have 9? And depending on that, you want to pick a grid. It doesn't really matter which one it is, as long as you like it. And you can play and experiment with a few different ones as well if you want, but just make sure that if you have 8 pictures, there are 8 images or 8 slots for those images here. So I ended up with 9 images, so I'm looking for a grid that has 9 images. So I think this is 9 now, so I'm just going to pick this one. We've got some small frames here, some bigger ones. So once you click on it, it will load here on the right. And then the next thing you need to do is upload your images into Canva. So for that, you want to click on Uploads here at the top, and then you want to click on Upload Images, and I have a folder ready here for this example with my 9 images that I've selected. So I'm going to grab them all and say Open, and they're going to start uploading into Canva. As soon as they're uploaded, I can start playing with them and adding them to my grid. So for example, I could grab this one and put it here, grab this one, and simply clicking and dragging it into different slots like here. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm realizing that I don't quite like how big those 3 images compared to the small one. That's just a personal taste. So I'm going, also a good example to show you how to change the grid if you don't like it. If you don't like it, you can simply select the grid and click Delete with your keyboard, and that will get rid of it for you. And then if you want a new one, you can go back under Elements and then Grids and find one that works better for you. So I'm still looking for a grid with 9 images because I know that's how many images I have. So I think this one or this one, 1, 2, 3. Yep, 3 on each line. So I'm just going to click, grab it and drag it to here and release, and it's going to upload it here. So I have all my images in here. So I click back on Uploads, and then I can again click and simply drag it to whichever square or rectangles here I want to fill with it. So I'm going to go on this one. I've got some leather texture. I'm still using the example of the handbag designer that's designing for professional, classic, elegant, modern women. So I've got a few images that I'm going to grab, like a boss. And this one here as well. Now, if for some reason, when you put the image into its little square or its little rectangle, you're not quite happy with how it's been added into it, you can double click just on this image, and then you're able to drag it up, down, right or left to change how it's cropped. So in this case, I want the bag to be in the middle here, so I'll leave it as it is now. For this one, maybe I want to go a little bit more up or down. And of course, if you want to delete an image as well, it's the same. You simply double click and then hit delete on your keyboard, and that one image will be gone, so you can replace it with another one if you want to. So that's it. That's the mood board that I've got for the brand that we're working on at the moment. Of course, yours is probably going to look very different, which is completely normal. But as you can see, we start seeing a bit of a color palette, even though we haven't talked about color yet, and we really understand what type of market we're entering and the kind of woman that we want to sell our handbags to. We still have those strong geometrical lines. It's quite modern and it feels quite confident as well. So when you're done with that, make sure to rename it. At the moment, it doesn't have a name yet. So up here in where it says Diseño sin título, I'm going to click on that and then add a title. So I'm going to say Moodboard example for myself, and then make sure that it is saved, and you will see here it will tell you when it saved all the changes, which looks like it's been done here, so that's fine. And then you can download it by clicking on this little arrow right here. I'm going to download it as a JPEG file and then download. And as you can see, it's downloaded it directly to my laptop and I'm able to open it, and here's my mood board.